I speak to hundreds of sales leaders and business owners every single year. And typically the average sales rep working at a company is spending about 66% of their time every single day on non-revenue producing activities. And what I mean by non-revenue producing activities, I mean things like account research, list building, CRM, context switching, admin, not taking into account their lunch breaks, their toilet breaks, whatever else they're doing. And they're spending around 33% of that, in the best cases that I speak to, actually selling. So what this means is that without a go-to-market framework, they're spending hours researching accounts, they're constantly context switching between tools, building lists manually, guessing which prospects are in market, doing CRM admin, repetitive tasks, and spending less time overall selling. And the result of this means you get less revenue, lower revenue per rep, lower profit per rep, and you get less sales overall. So how do you actually fix this? Well, I'm going to walk you through the system that we were able to generate one of our clients over 17 enterprise meetings with Fortune 100 companies, FTSE 100 companies. That is the same as the S&P 500 over here in the UK, so it's the UK equivalent of that. Generating $2.2 million worth of pipeline and over $250,000 of closed revenue within just 90 days of installing this exact system. They went from not producing anything from outbound to 17 meetings and $250,000 worth of closed revenue. Now, the way that we were able to do that was through signal-led ABM. This company that we worked with specifically had a reasonably small TAM, around 8,000 or 9,000 accounts. It wasn't worth us automating, and also the target market, enterprise companies, were very difficult to target with cold email automation. If you did that at scale, your emails are just going to land in spam. It doesn't make sense to do it for companies of this size with this small TAM and targeting the markets that we were targeting. So instead, we built out a signal-led account-based marketing go-to-market approach. And the way this worked was by mapping out their TAM with Clay. So building out a full picture of all the accounts that exist in their world that match their ICP. Understanding, okay, we've got this many we can actually target, and then get the personas in every single one of those accounts and then enrich them with valid emails and phone numbers so that the reps can go after them. And then building out a signal-timed approach using White Whale. So we're using White Whale to monitor things like hiring for key roles, funding rounds, leadership changes, tech stack migrations, website visits, LinkedIn engagement, things that are completely custom as well. So maybe something that is in their quarterly review, a quarterly budget announcement. We can search for all of those things. We make them completely custom to companies, and we can make them custom for our clients as well. And what this allows us to do is to give the reps that work for our clients' companies context on the accounts that they're supposed to be going after, and context on how to approach them, so that when they're making an email, when they're sending an email, when they're making a phone call, when they're sending a LinkedIn DM, they're coming across with a point of view, with an opinion, and they're able to make a message which is much more likely to get a reply, which when you've got a small TAM, because you're doing a signal-led ABM approach, you need to be optimizing for conversion rates. You need to be maximizing the results for the accounts that you get. It's not the same as high volume cold email, where it is a data game, where you're trying to get replies, you're trying to book meetings that way. If you've got a small TAM, you need to be hitting them on every single channel, maximizing your chance of booking a meeting and converting them into pipeline. The best way to do that is to monitor those accounts that you've mapped out with Clay using White Whale to monitor for those signals that we've just discussed. And what this allows reps to do is to then spend 90% of their day on revenue producing activities, and maybe 10% or less on things that are admin, that are manual, that are out of everyone's control, that they have to do. Because what they get here is a signal-led go-to-market framework with prioritized accounts that are delivered daily. So they're not logging into multiple different tools and accounts. They log into their CRM, they see their account list, they see the signals directly within their CRM, if it's on Salesforce or HubSpot. These signals are already identified. The contact data is already enriched, so they don't need to jump in any other tools. The cadences and workflows are already prepared. They're doing minimal tool switching, and therefore they're getting more conversations with the right accounts. The result here is more pipeline from the sales team, because what we've done is we've made their lives simpler by automating the manual stuff so that they can focus on the soft skills that are so important in sales: the ability to have a conversation, the ability to identify prospects that are in market, to run them through qualification criteria and to move them to the next stage building that case. Instead of them focused on admin and stuff that they shouldn't be focused on, they're able to focus on their deals, generating more pipeline. Now for you, a member of the leadership team watching this means you're getting more revenue per rep, faster onboarding for new hires, less operational waste, a more repeatable process across the team. That means that you can scale without adding headcount unnecessarily. So you can get more out of the same team. If you've got a team of 5 and they go from 30% of their day selling to 90% of their day selling, that's a 3 times increase in the productivity of your reps, meaning that they're booking more calls, that are more qualified, they're spending more time on those deals, and therefore you're closing at a higher rate. Now, if you're interested in getting a system just like this that was generating $2.2 million worth of pipeline, $250,000 worth of closed won revenue within just 90 days, it'll be the first link in the bio. You can speak with me directly and we can work out what's the best approach for your company and look at building either a high volume cold email system if you have a massive TAM, we can look at the infrastructure, or a much more focused ABM approach like what I've just covered in this video today. Thank you very much. Speak soon.